501st International to be played here in the Red Star Belgrade home ground. And number 4 for Yugoslavia is Spasić, the Real Madrid defender. And this is Prosinečki, a man really to look out for on this Yugoslavian side, their star player. But maybe the Northern Ireland side, when there's a break in play, might get a chance. But it's an interesting formation from Northern Ireland. This is Savićević, and he's looking for Baždarević. Go into Northern Ireland, Gary Fleming playing right back. Winning his 12th cap. Looks for the Jilton. And already pressure from Yugoslavia. Possibly now one of the top 4 sides in Europe, Yugoslavia, along with Italy and West Germany and England. And this is their best player, Prosinečki. It's well away. The Jilton coming back to help out the defence, and Hill and Morrow and Donachie have a lot of work to do, I imagine, in the centre of that Northern Ireland defence this evening. Looks for Binić. Donachie. Way by Kevin Wilson. Savićević. And this is Hadžibegić. A lot of the play will come through this man, as it did in Belfast when he was the outstanding player in the 2-0 victory. Vulić to Savićević. Pančev was the target forward. Now it's Donachie. Already pressure on inside Logan. Savićević plays a lot on that right-hand side. Looking for Pančev. And the whistle's gone. There's Billy Bingham just receiving Yugoslav team sheet. Got it just about the time that I did, I think. He's more interested in the performance of this man, probably Paul Key. At the moment, in and out of the Oxford reserves, and now facing one of the most expensive striking forces in European football. Probably one of the best as well. Robbie Denison. Here's Wilson, Jilton. Nice first time ball from the ever-confident Jilton, Denison, Kevin Wilson. This could be a corner. It came off the shin of Kevin Wilson, and Ivković will take the goal kick. Hadžibegić, the very experienced sweeper for Yugoslavia, and as so often, Prosinečki picks the ball up deep. Spasić. Allowed to run, Morrow comes to him. Prosinečki. Jozić and Kevin Wilson doing a good job, but Jozić gets it back. That was a good tackle. And the first chance of the game. And comes off Colin Hill for the corner. Osim, the Yugoslavian manager, who's been very successful since he took over in '86. Good run in the World Cup. Prosinečki, good corner. Actually came off the arm of Pančev. This is Black. The route to goal is cut off, I'm afraid. Donachie has a man away to his left, in space, if he can find him. He does. From Logan, and he's lost the ball. Baždarević comes off the referee. And now for Jilton to Donachie. Looking for the Pančev, the man caught. Pančev with 10 goals for his country and leading scorer in the Yugoslavian League for the last 2 seasons. Sixth cap for Paul Key, still just 21. Being kept out of the Oxford reserves team on a fortnightly basis by Alan Judge. A throw in to be taken by Vulić. Ivković, Hadžibegić, this is Jarni, that's Jozić, looking for Binić, and this is Baždarević, and the flag's up on the far side, but the referee lets it go as Magilton gets it away. Kingsley back. Northern Ireland playing with 2 wingers, and I suspect a little bit of obstruction there, surely. In fact, the referee from Turkey has given it the other way. Yusuf, Namoğlu, the referee tonight. Hadžibegić, 55 caps. Prosinečki has a man to his left, that's Jarni. 2 men on him, one of them Magilton, and Jozić. Yugoslavia training certainly concentrated on playing the ball wide as much as possible. Hadžibegić, a good interception by Steve Morrow, doing a fairly useful job so far in an unaccustomed role just in front of the back 4. We're describing it in a jocular fashion as an eye sweeper. Savićević and Hill. Northern Ireland trying to break. Through Hill and the Ilija, but with his Ivković. Baždarević, the midfielder, coming back, picking it up, giving it to Savićević. Kingsley back in the line offensive. Roll in front of Rogan. You have to do a lot of that. That's not a bad looking ball, and that's just wide. Binić of the home club here, Red Star Belgrade, winning its 2nd cap. His 1st cap was won in Belfast, and the players have been warned about the pace of this man. Dragiša Binić. Away, Kevin Wilson. He's lost it. That's a good ball, and Ruben should get there. And Binić again, showing his pace. Northern Ireland getting the goal figure me under the vote.
Goal kick to Northern Ireland to be taken by Paul Key as the rain continues to stream down here in the Yugoslavian capital. Kevin Wilson, and his control letting him down, but a very slippery surface and a very difficult test this for Northern Ireland. Hadžibegić. And that's Rogan. And Rogan with Vulić, his opposite number, the Yugoslavian right back, and Rogan wins the goal kick. I must apologise at this stage, a slight break in play was Key prepared to take the goal kick for the earlier quality of the commentary, not mine I hope, but the sound. Hope you understand what I mean. So 10 minutes gone here, and it's Yugoslavia 0, Northern Ireland 0, and a fairly satisfactory start for Billy Bingham. This is Dennison. Good work from Dennison, and this is Ian Dowie now. Spasić, showing why Real Madrid bought him after the World Cup in '86. When Yugoslavia did so well, you may remember. Donachie, looking for a man wide. This is Colin Hill under pressure from 2 men. And this is Jozić, and he has Darko Pančev to his right. Pančev, Prosinečki. Well, he knows He should have scored there, Prosinečki. It was a nice move. Northern Ireland caught. And this man normally finishes chances like that. Jozić was the man who played the ball in. Darko Pančev knocked it back. And my goodness, he should have scored. Robert Prosinečki, wanted by so many clubs in Europe. Jozić. And now Mal Donachie is the ball. Donachie and Colin Hill are the men playing in the centre of the Northern Ireland defence. Steve Morrow's playing just in front of the back four, a position he told me on the team bus this morning he's never occupied, even in the school playground. So a totally new experience for the man on loan to Reading. And the fullbacks Gary Fleming and Anton Rogan. He launches it for Dowie. And in comes Prosinečki. Involved so far in everything, Hadžibegić. You can probably hear the rain battering on this very impressive, sprawling stadium at Red Star. Capacity of 97,000. I would say, though, tonight, possibly 10,000 in the ground. Prosinečki, optimistic to say the least, and a goal kick. Yugoslavian manager Ivica Osim leaving his selection very late this evening. We only managed to get the teams about 10 minutes before kick-off, and it was really about this man the argument was over. Binić on the right-hand side, between him and Boban, to see who would fill that role, and Rogan, I'm sure, would probably like to have seen the other fella. He's not quite as quick as this man. Dowie. Black in pursuit. Ivković, the goalkeeper. And now Yugoslavia building patiently as always. Baždarević. Steve Morrow. Gary Fleming. Dowie. Not a bad first touch. Magilton. Fleming. Northern Ireland enjoying a confident little spell. So 13 minutes gone, and Vulić. Fleming for Magilton. Nice turn from the Barnsley sweeper. That's where he's playing at the second division club, with Jerry Taggart in front of him. Taggart missing this game through injury. Ian Dowie. Good work from Dowie and Fleming. And Baždarević gets in. Quickly taken by Denison to Magilton. Steve Morrow. Rogan away on the left-hand side, but not a good ball. But at least Northern Ireland are not afraid to attack when they get the chance. Perhaps the 3-0 victory over Poland giving them some confidence. Baždarević for Jarni. Prosinečki. Good work from Fleming. And keeps it in too. Denison. Fleming. Needs someone in space in front of him. There was no one there. And Spasić gets it back to the goalkeeper. About 30 Northern Ireland fans have made the journey here. Most of them coming by coach, it must be said. I believe it was a harrowing journey for them. Vulić. Prosinečki. Baždarević. Prosinečki. Pančev going on a wee run, but he's stopped now. And again, Northern Ireland caught slightly in possession. Jarni. And the whistle's gone. Robbie Denison. Foul on Jarni. So a dangerous situation for Northern Ireland here with 15 minutes gone, still scoreless. Yugoslavs worked a good deal on free kicks in the 2 training sessions I witnessed. Prosinečki. Lots of skill. Beautiful football. Jarni. Looking cross too. Binić has now had 2 chances in this game. The first one probably better than that one. Not only is he quick, but he also has height. And there's the man involved in the build-up, and now that's Jozić, in fact. That wasn't a very good clearance, and here's Pančev. Donachie showing all his experience with a fine clearance. Savićević. Throw-in goes to Northern Ireland. Ian Dowie preferred to Colin Clark or Jimmy Quinn up front. Here he is. Again, just slightly short for Northern Ireland, and Yugoslavia might capitalise as Pančev goes in, and the free kick given against him, pushing Donachie off him. The Northern Ireland captain, and this is Robbie Dennison. Dennison taking men on already. Gary Fleming and Spasić getting in front of Dowie. Now Prosinečki. That ball is for Binić. Well, he's quick. You can see that. He's very quick. Crowd appreciating his pace. Kingsley Black. And Magilton can't quite get there. Hadžibegić, Baždarević. Prosinečki. Jarni goes in a run, left wing position. Prosinečki, well shadowed. Baždarević, Jozić. And defence playing fairly well. Baždarević, Savićević. Savićević in for Binić. And Pančev might still get there, but the corner's given. Minutes gone. Northern Ireland holding on here. Yugoslavia 0, Northern Ireland 0. Robert Prosinečki, hair matted by the pouring rain, to take the corner kick. Time to the far post, and Spasić has gone the whole way across to Vulić. Pančev gets up. The ball went over Pančev's head, and it was Jozić who managed to get the header in. So Yugoslavia have had a few reasonably good chances in the opening 20 minutes, but no goals. Spasić wins that one from Dowie. Rogan looking for Kevin Wilson. This is Vulić and Hadžibegić. Spasić and Jarni. Robert Prosinečki. That ball for Jarni, but a little bit too far. Jarni, who played in the Yugoslavian side that won the World Youth Championship 4 years ago. And a lot of those players indeed have come through into the national side, the senior team. Part of the reason why they're so successful. Former Ards keeper Paul Key conceded 7 goals in his 5 internationals. Jozić. This is Pančev. Very quick and very skillful. Savićević. Good save. And a free kick to Northern Ireland. But Key did well there. Savićević. The tackle was in, but it wasn't efficient enough and Key was well positioned. That was the free kick. Dowie. Another free kick to Northern Ireland, this time against Spasić, on the man transferred to West Ham for £480,000. So what can Northern Ireland do from this? Through Colin Hill of Sheffield United. Ian Dowie's taken up a position at the far post. The ball is aimed towards Dowie. Goal kick. Hadžibegić. Baždarević, and the free kick given. Prosinečki. Savićević. Hill. Almost in trouble, but now Rogan. Ball coming off Binić and then off Rogan, and they throw into Yugoslavia. Vulić will take it. Looking for Pančev. Donake's there. Spasić. Black. Looking for Ian Dowie. And the sweeper does his job. Mehmed Hadžibegić of the Sochaux club in France. Comes off Stevie Morrow for a throw into Yugoslavia. 23 minutes gone in the first half. 0 each. Steve Morrow of Reading, and that's Gary Fleming of Barnsley. Savićević. They're letting him run here. Prosinečki. Looks for Savićević. Northern Ireland doing their best to keep the Yugoslavians at range, playing those 5 men in defence and attacking the midfield as well. And so far being reasonably successful in that they've only hit the target once, Yugoslavia, when Paul Key made the save. Dowie. Good flick from him, that was Black, and this is Vulić. Another quick attack perhaps, but Donaghy comes in. Baždarević. The ball for Binić in the right wing slot, but Anton Rogan does well to control the ball. Spasić in front of Dowie. Jozić and Morrow. And now Rogan. And the flag's up. Seventh meeting between Northern Ireland and Yugoslavia. Northern Ireland winning just once in 1975 when Brian Hamilton scored the winner at Windsor Park. Yugoslavs the first side to visit Belfast after a spell of the Troubles from 1971 to 75. I think we've always appreciated that. As the flag goes up for offside, Kevin Wilson caught. There's confirmation of the score. Yugoslavia have won 4 of the 7 meetings and have won all 3 matches to date in this group of the European Championship, and all of them reasonably impressively. This is Jozić. Up goes Donaghy. Prosinečki. Spasić has Vulić away to his right. This is he. Prosinečki coming short for him. Morrow is a very hard man to take the ball off Prosinečki. Savićević. Binić, Savićević, Pančev. Pančev. So close again. for Yugoslavia. An important late challenge as Darko Pančev slid in, and here they come again. Through Savićević, but cleared for Northern Ireland. Denison. Dowie, Denison. Savićević. On Fleming. And there's nobody there except for Mehmed Hadžibegić. Spasić, Hadžibegić, who missed 2 penalties at the World Cup finals. Yugoslavia went out to Argentina. Prosinečki. Jozić. Prosinečki. Savićević. 3 men forward. Savićević looking for Pančev. Binić. Well, Binić's finishing hasn't been perhaps that impressive, but he's certainly getting himself into dangerous situations. "27 minutes gone. Nil-each still." Baždarević getting up with Magilton. Now Morrow challenging. And Jozić. And now Pančev. Good save by Key. Rogan thumps it long, away from danger, and really you would have expected Pančev to score from that sort of position, but Paul Key read the angles well, came out quickly, and a save of the Jennings mould with the legs. Prosinečki. Baždarević. Donaghy. All the chances so far going the way of the home side. Spasić and Jozić. Prosinečki, Hadžibegić, Jarni to Hadžibegic's left. This is Baždarević. Jarni. Bobby Denison back and does enough to win the ball, or allow Fleming to win it, but the free kick's given to Yugoslavia. Spasić taking up a position at the far side of the penalty area. Binić is up as well, and Jozić, the taller man on the Yugoslavian side. And away for Northern Ireland, but Prosinečki is there to retrieve. Well up Donaghy, he's done a lot of important work in the centre of that Northern Ireland defence so far. Morrow for Dowie. Spasić had him covered. No problems at all for the man from Real Madrid, formerly of Partizan. Hadžibegić. Pančev is onside, has no support in the penalty area at the moment. It's arriving now. Pančev. Hill. Denison calls for it. Good ball to Dowie. And that's nice work out of defence by Northern Ireland. Fleming. Dowie. Fleming, and too high for Robbie Denison. Hill. Good work from Hill. And Magilton to Denison. Fleming. There's nobody there. But for the inevitable sweeper. And now it's Baždarević winning his 48th cap tonight, a very experienced midfielder. Binić is robbed by Magilton. Oh, this is dangerous now for Northern Ireland. Savićević. Pančev is in the box. Hill gets up, poor direction. But Magilton cleans up neatly. Dowie. Denison, and they've lost the ball again in possession. Spasić, play on, says the referee. Prosinečki. Binić is away to his right. And that is Binić. Darko Pančev in the penalty area. Maldoniki. And again, a slight indecision there in the Northern Ireland defence. Wilson and Donachie not quite sure who was going for the ball. And it happened yet again. But now Morrow, a chance to steady things for Northern Ireland. Rogan. Vulić. Pančev trying to stay onside. And it was aimed for him, but far too long. Donachie. Dennison calling for it. Fleming gets it. And once more, far too far for Ian Dowie of West Ham. Baždarević, Jozić, Baždarević again. Here's Prosinečki, the inevitable. That's a good ball for Jarni. Prosinečki in the penalty area. Corner kick. There you can see just how sparsely populated this stadium is tonight. But there's plenty of blue shirts in the Northern Ireland penalty area at the moment. Prosinečki with the corner. Spasić moving towards the near post. Another chance for Yugoslavia. Darko Pančev, possibly the smallest player on the pitch, getting his head to the ball. Lovely corner, beautifully met, but not in, importantly, for Northern Ireland. Donachie. Wilson. Magilton. Black. There's nowhere to go but to give it back to Donachie. Kevin Wilson straying offside forward. I think Donachie thought about the ball, but in the end it didn't quite work. Minutes to go to half-time, and Northern Ireland holding on commendably well in the face of some fairly intense pressure. Prosinečki, Jozić, for Binić, Pančev, Steve Morrow wins a good challenge. Black. And again, a long way down the pitch into space, but putting the Yugoslavian defence under no pressure whatsoever. With Northern Ireland here to do a defensive operation, damage limitation was one quote from earlier in the week. And a fairly appropriate one, I think. A weakened Northern Ireland squad with a number of their more experienced defenders missing. Hadžibegić looks for Binić. It's there. 1-0. Well, Dragiša Binić has had 3 opportunities, and on the 4th occasion he managed to score. It's his first goal for his country in his 2nd international. Hadžibegić, the sweeper, moving forward probably for the first time in the match, and it really was a quite exquisite ball. I think this might be the best angle of the 3, and Colin Hill in the end maybe quite unlucky not to get to it, but it's in. Interesting now to see how Northern Ireland react to that goal, having done so well for the opening 35 minutes. And a chance now to see how these free kicks might work. They've been doing an awful lot of them in training. Robbie Dennison. Ivković without any problems whatsoever. Donachie, Steve Morrow. And that's what Northern Ireland must be careful of, these fast-breaking Yugoslavs, and their pace probably their best quality, and that's offside. There you can see Belgrade away in the distance. I'm afraid it's a rather drab and grey city. Nothing terribly exciting about it. Binić. Hadžibegić. Now pushing up even more. Steve Morrow. Magilton. Kevin Wilson. Looking for Robbie Dennison, but too far. There were some worries that a couple of demonstrations that were taking place in Belgrade today, one Serbian, one Croatian, could cause some problems here in the form of a demonstration outside the ground at a meeting of the two provinces. But luckily, so far nothing has come of it. Those rockets and fireworks going off purely to celebrate the goal. Yugoslavia playing with confidence. Here's Pančev. The Polkey certainly couldn't be faulted for the goal. The Oxford man had no chance at all. It was perfectly placed. Dowie. Magilton doing a lot of hard running in the Northern Ireland midfield. Fleming. Dowie. To Dennison. Wilson goes in a run through the centre. Fleming is the man on the overlap. Jarni and Prosinečki between them, winning the ball, trying to release Baždarević, and here's Jozić. Good work from Hill. And still going impressively. Here's Baždarević. Vulić. I think the crowd there appreciating the tenacity of the Northern Ireland side. Prosinečki. Binić waiting, trying to time a run, but well marshalled. Savićević. Baždarević. Pace has dropped just for the minute. Jozić. Yugoslavia sits slightly on that one-goal lead with 6 minutes to go to half-time. Spasić, Vulić. Savićević. And the flag's up on the far side. Binić, the goal scorer, is offside. Northern Ireland bench with Jimmy Quinn and Colin Clark, Michael O'Neill and Tommy Wright. Not too many defensive options for Billy Bingham if there are any injuries at the back, as you can see from that shot. Former Newcastle clubmates, Wright and Michael O'Neill. Kingsley Black winning that one. This is Rogan. And away by Vulić. Donachie should have time. And does. And really, Donachie, a vital cog in this Northern Ireland side, the captain for the third time. He'll have to dictate to his fellow defenders, some of them lacking considerably in international experience. Dowie. Morrow. Nice turn. Black looking for Ian Dowie. Dropping for Wilson. Manager of Yugoslavia is not too happy about that, and Kevin Wilson, well, he can certainly ponder on the fact that it was a half chance. But this man never, it seems, looks happy, no matter what's happening. Baždarević. again, Northern Ireland losing the ball while in possession. Here's Pančev. Prosinečki looking for Pančev, and Hill is there. Jarni. Baždarević. Here's a chance. And Savićević had the shot blocked. Black deciding against the option of playing the ball back to his goalkeeper, Baždarević, Savićević and Spasić. 4 minutes to go to half-time. Prosinečki, who builds virtually everything from deep midfield. Jarni takes on Robbie Dennison, and away at the near post by Colin Hill. Hadžibegić to Binić. And Hill again gets it away. Hadžibegić, not bad for a sweeper. Hill to Dowie, and that was a late tackle by Spasić. No doubt about that. Tony Bingham not too happy either, I wouldn't think. Although 1-0 at this stage, well, it's not too bad. Could so easily still have been scoreless. And Spasić, who's been shadowing Dowie throughout, gives away the throw-in. Fleming, Dowie. Fleming, not a bad looking cross. Was Black at the far post, and the corner kick. And as you can see by the umbrella held by the photographer on the far side, the rain still pouring down. Kevin Wilson at the far post. Robbie Dennison with the corner kick. Dowie calling for it. So's Rogan. And straight to Ivković, but that could have taken a deflection. And now here's Savićević. Pančev trying desperately to stay onside. And I think the referee is going to give a free kick for handball against Colin Hill. The ball bobbling rather unkindly for him. No wind at all this evening, but plenty of rain for Maldoniki and his team. Continually organising his side. Now this is where Yugoslavia can be extremely dangerous. They hit the ball with such ferocity, and Prosinečki has to get round a four-man wall. Now he can score some spectacular free kicks. No question of that. Prosinečki, and he struck it well enough, but Key was there. A minute to go to half-time. Yugoslavia 1, Northern Ireland 0, as Dowie plays it to Dennison. Bingham playing two wingers, as he very often does away from home. The Jilton can't get back past Jarni, though, and the referee has blown his whistle and gives a free kick to Northern Ireland. There's the score on the electronic scoreboard here. Virtually empty ground, unfortunately. That's just what Robbie Dennison has to do. That's another good corner, another good cross, and it's a goal. Well, Northern Ireland have equalised, and it's Colin Hill who's done it. Well, amazing. One each. Well, Robbie Dennison floated a lovely free kick in here. It caught everybody by surprise, and Colin Hill, what a beautiful header. Let's savour that once more. And wasn't it wonderfully placed? Well, that's amazing, it really is. Northern Ireland always hoping to pinch a goal away from home in these fixtures, but they rarely do it. But they've done it tonight. What a moment for Colin Hill of Sheffield United. And the 30 or 40 Northern Ireland fans just below me here in the commentary position, really enjoying that. And a nice time to score a goal, just into injury time at the end of the first half. And in fact, there goes the whistle. And that really will be a boost for the Northern Ireland team. And Billy Bingham will have plenty of positive things to say at the interval. The first goal scored after 35 minutes by Binić to put Yugoslavia 1-0 up. But then, as you've seen, that equaliser on Ireland's side. I'll check the Yugoslavian team when the kick-off is taken. Flag up on the near side of the pitch. Already offside against Yugoslavia. Northern Ireland's experimental defensive formation working fairly well in the first 45 minutes against a very, very good attacking international team in Yugoslavia. Donachie, Dawi, Spasić, and Dawi wins it. That was Black, and here's Morrow, Steve Morrow. There's no one there for Northern Ireland, but now Prosinečki has a chance to break for Yugoslavia. Anton Rogan is with him. Pančev goes in a run. Prosinečki still. And now Colin Hill, the scorer. Kingsley Black. And the way to goal is cut off. Hadžibegić in front of Dawi, and a throw into Northern Ireland. Anton Rogan, who scored the first goal against Rangers last week, to Dawi. Wilson goes in a run, looking for Wilson, who had stayed on side this time, but Hadžibegić was there. Now Spasić. Dawi just getting in front of him and fouling Spasić. Dawi had a pretty good first half. There's the Real Madrid defender. And now Prosinečki. Jozić, Vulić, Hill again, this is Prosinečki, Savićević, turning Kevin Wilson, Savićević for Darko Pančev, Pančev, 2-1. Osim still doesn't manage a smile. And Darko Pančev does his 11th goal for his country. And his 5th goal in the European Championships. Savićević played the ball through. The mistake of the Northern Ireland defence. Pančev turned and took it so well. Well, this man Savićević has had a very, very good game for Yugoslavia. He's absolutely everywhere and playing some very incisive balls. That was another one of those. Colin Hill was the man who fell, and Pančev was the man who finished. Happy man. So just the start of the second half, Northern Ireland did not want, having equalised just before the interval and finding themselves behind almost immediately. Jozić to Prosinečki. Prosinečki still, robbed by Kingsley Black, but robbed unfairly. The rain, I'm pleased to say, appears to have eased here in Belgrade as Prosinečki finds Jozić. Savićević, Binić screaming for it in a right-wing position. This is Vulić. Binić is outside him. Vulić for Pančev. That's a dangerous header, but Donachie, the only man to fill the space and clear the danger. So the pattern seems to be set for the second half, the way it was for most of the first half, with Yugoslavia pressurising, away by Hill. Ian Dawi, good control, well laid off. Kingsley Black. Vulić just keeping the ball in play. Rogan collecting, but the free kick has been given. Northern Ireland manager Billy Bingham in his 80th match in charge with 25 wins in his second spell now since 1980. Savićević. Two men on the edge of the Northern Ireland penalty area, Binić and Pančev. Savićević, Baždarević looking for Pančev and Binić, away by Hill. And Morrow, now Dowie. Denison going in a run on the right-hand side. But he has the ball. Paul Keegan replaced Tommy Wright when Tommy Wright was injured. And has kept his place ever since. Dowie on the end of that one, Savićević and Robbie Denison. Now it's Jarni. Jarni for Pančev. A lovely first-time ball for Jarni. Three men for Yugoslavia up. Pančev's there, but Donachie clears. Now it's Jozić. Good football again. The same three men are in the penalty area. Baždarević, Donachie. Now it's Ian Dowie, the West Ham United forward. That was aimed for Kingsley Black. But Hadžibegić does his job neatly. Prosinečki. Crowd seem to have relaxed since that second Yugoslavian goal, having been stunned with Northern Ireland's equaliser at the end of the first half. 6 minutes gone in the second period, and it's Yugoslavia 2, Northern Ireland 1. Gary Fleming, who is captain Donachie, winning his 69th cap. Donachie looks for Denison and Fleming. That's forward. Dowie. Go, but straight through to Ivković. Only his 13th cap, but he's made a big impression at international level. Noted as an up-and-coming midfielder with potential world class. Savićević. Pretty close indeed. Well, he set up the second goal and he almost scored one himself there. Like Prosinečki, he's very hard to shake off the ball, and that must have been 3 or 4 inches wide. Man of the match for me so far. Spasić. Denison for Gary Fleming. Barnsley. Kingsley Black moving into the penalty area and moving on the diagonal run indeed. And the corner surely to Northern Ireland. Yes indeed. Yugoslavian substitutes. Boban is the man chattering away. Another man with tremendous potential, I'm told. Great strength and depth in the Yugoslavia squad. But Kingsley Black will take the corner for Northern Ireland. Black for Dowie. Denison and Prosinečki. Dennis did well to get his foot in, but now Northern Ireland stretched at the back as Prosinečki tries to break. Finds Savićević. Looking for Pančev. And he saw Pančev's run very early indeed, did Savićević. Oh, but that looked like handball, suspiciously. Rogan, now back in favour with the Celtic fans. Having scored against Rangers. And Billy Bingham about to make a substitution with Colin Clark coming on for Kevin Wilson. Kevin has done a lot of running in midfield and up front. Prosinečki for Vulić and Binić. Baždarević for Vulić. Jozić. Savićević is cut out by Kingsley Black. Now Colin Clark. This is Dowie. Dowie looking for Colin Clark. Not a bad early run from the big man from Portsmouth. Prosinečki. Vulić. So much of Yugoslavia's building comes down this right-hand side. Vulić for Prosinečki. Vulić. And the throw-in goes to Yugoslavia, off the Dowie. Vulić. Baždarević is caught by Anton Rogan, and the free kick to Yugoslavia. Baždarević is the man who's injured, not badly. Prosinečki, Baždarević, he's onside. Here's Prosinečki, and that almost worked. The only possible place he could play the ball, really, and he almost found the top corner. Well, Baždarević, I thought, suspiciously offside. Perhaps he was level. Prosinečki, he looked up, saw the corner. Not a bad effort. So Billy Bingham has now brought on Colin Clark, as you've seen. So he's two out strikers on the field in Clark and Dowie. I don't think that necessarily means that he's going all out for the equaliser just at this stage. He has limited options on the bench, because really there isn't another defender in the side. All the defenders in the 16-man panel are on the pitch at the moment. The only other option probably was to bring Michael O'Neill on and maybe put him into the midfield, but he's decided on Clark, who's taken up a position on the left-hand side of midfield for Northern Ireland at the moment. This is Prosinečki. That's in for Vulić. Colin Clark didn't read it too well, and this is Vulić. Looking for Pančev, and he gets it away. Savićević to Prosinečki. Nice turn from Prosinečki, tries one. Hits the ball very well and very accurately normally. Certainly wasn't afraid to try one from long range. He had quite well wide. Fleming helps it on towards Denison. Denison does well to win it, and then confusion. Minutes gone in the second half. Yugoslavia still leading by 2-1 as Baždarević recovers the ball from Ian Dowie. Spasić to Prosinečki, who so often you'll notice picks the ball up in his own half. Namoğlu is the marker, and Vulić is in the attacking right back position. Colin Clark is the marker, a very unaccustomed role for him. Pančev, give a little bit of space. Goal kick. And you can't give these Yugoslavian strikers any room at all. And if you do, well, as you've seen, they will shoot. Jozić, and it drops for Kingsley Black. Here's Clark. Now he's behind him. Ball for Black. Well, that was Jozić who won the challenge. Savićević. Such a good player. Prosinečki Binić to his right, and we haven't seen the great pace of Binić in the second half. Prosinečki surely fouled by Colin Clark. Prosinečki. Jozić. And now Jarni, the fullback. Looking for Binić. Pančev. 3-1 to Yugoslavia. Well, there was always the fear that this sort of thing might happen, and I must say we were worried before the game of the pace of Binić on the right-hand side, but it seems his aerial power has caused more problems than his acceleration. He rose well, and Key did extremely well to get his hand to it, but it was easy for Pančev.
Yugoslavia,
Climbs well in front of Rogan.
Darko Pančev.
Well done, Paul Key, it has to be said. It could so easily have gone over the bar for him, and it's not much easier than that. I think the director enjoying the freeze frame. But now back live with the action. Savićević to Spasić, and perhaps the match now as a contest is over with Yugoslavia 2 goals clear, and they might make it more here. Donaghy, oh, another chance, surely a goal. Yes, it is. Pančev gets the hat-trick. Well, from a very encouraging situation at half-time, suddenly the game has left Northern Ireland. Prosinečki played an exquisite ball through, and Savićević, as so often, the orchestrator in the Northern Ireland penalty area. Pančev scores his second hat-trick in the European Championship qualifying. Although to give him credit, he finished well with the marking slack. 4-1. 3 goals for that man. The Red Star Belgrade striker scoring his 12th goal in international football. This is Rogan. And now Savićević comes away at pace. Binić is outside him, and Northern Ireland really stretched here. Here comes Binić. Prosinečki at the far post. Gone beyond them all. Jarni was the man coming steaming in, the fullback. And this could turn out to be a disastrous result in scoreline for Northern Ireland now. Jarni, the fullback, hit it well, and again, just wide. (18 minutes gone in the second half. And it's turned into a little bit of a Belgrade nightmare for Northern Ireland. And the Northern Ireland supporters certainly taking it in good part. There's a gentleman in front of me from Belfast wearing a green Santa Claus outfit, and he's shaking hands with everybody, so at least there's no ill feeling. Baždarević for Savićević, and again, lovely skills. He may be treated as some beautiful football from Yugoslavia now as Prosinečki looks for Binić, and even he can't get there with the Carl Lewis type pace off the mark that he possesses. The poor old Paul Key, I don't think you can blame him too much for any of the goals, but he's let in 4. And Colin Clark now has has pushed up more into a central striker's role. I think he was a little bit uncomfortable in the left-sided midfield role that he was thrust into. Of course, he's not used to it, so we can hardly blame him for that. Free kick to Northern Ireland. To be taken by Colin Hill. Colin Clark goes on the run. Ivković comfortably. That's good covering from Steve Morrow, not giving up at all. Continuing to run hard in the Northern Ireland tradition. Savićević beaten by Dowie. Now Magilton for Clark. Clark looking for Dowie. And now it's Savićević. Dennison. Back to Paul Key. There's definitely much more space now for the Yugoslavs when they break. Northern Ireland tired and stretched. With 20 minutes gone in the second half. 4-1 to Yugoslavia. Magilton looking for Clark. And a throw into Northern Ireland. Jozić for Prosinečki. And Jarni puts Prosinečki away. Pančev is in the box. It will be in a second. Prosinečki, two men there for Northern Ireland, including Gary Fleming. So hard to get the ball off this man, Prosinečki. Jozić. Savićević. Savićević still. Good skills from Savićević. And the crowd enjoying that. Obviously, any remnants of pressure have been lifted from the Yugoslavs. They will stay at the top of the group with 8 points from 4 matches, the only side with maximum points, and from what I've seen of them, easily the best team in the group. (2-0 against Northern Ireland, 2-0 against Denmark in Copenhagen, and 4-1 here against Austria when Pančev also scored a hat-trick. Dowie, good effort. Dowie did strike that well. He kept it down, and it wasn't too far away, but I fancy Ivković had it covered. Did get a deflection on the way, and a corner kick to Northern Ireland. Plenty of men in the penalty area, including Dowie and Clark. Moves towards the commentary side. Black with the corner. Nice flick. Steve Morrow, it was in there. Here's a chance again and saved. Jim Magilton slapping his fist into his palm in dismay. But Northern Ireland almost getting a goal back there. Lovely flick at the near post by Ian Dowie, and Steve Morrow getting in the volley. In the meantime, Anton Rogan is booked for a foul on Binić. Ian Dowie is the man who has to be careful because he was booked against Yugoslavia in Belfast. One more booking will mean one match out. Savićević for Jozić. Dennison tries to set Magilton away. Hadžibegić spears up, and this is Jarni. Northern Ireland just creating a couple of chances there, which is good to see. They created one in the first half and scored from it. A nice free kick and a good header from Colin Hill. Binić for Prosinečki. Morrow is back. Prosinečki for Vulić. 3 men to aim for in the penalty area, away by Hill. Clark. Dowie now, and this is Clark. Return from Kingsley Black. Anton Rogan had to stay onside. He had to stop his run, and the flag was up anyway. He was caught. 25 minutes gone in the second half. Yugoslavia 4, Northern Ireland 1. Pančev, not a good ball from him. A very rare slack ball from Yugoslavia. Wilton for Dowie. Kingsley Black. Looks for Fleming. Has Dennison to his right. This is Dennison. Fleming on the overlap. Dennison takes on Jarni. Gets in a good cross. Colin Clark was almost on the receiving end. Now here's Morrow. And that is Ivković's ball. Savićević. Baždarević. Rogan pushing him and kicking at heels. Almost winning the ball from Prosinečki, but giving away the free kick. Prosinečki. Savićević to his right. Binić further to his right. Prosinečki goes on the run, looking for Pančev. Pančev! What an important challenge from Gary Fleming. Just managed to get his foot in front of Darko Pančev's shot. Some more pressure for Northern Ireland to absorb. Has so much skill, this man. Look at that. Prosinečki gets the pass in and the flag's up. Handball against Binić. It's all part of the learning experience for Northern Ireland. And let us remember at all times that this is a very inexperienced Northern Ireland defence. Dowie flicks on, but no one there. Alan MacDonald out of the side through injury. Nigel Worthington as well. You really can't afford in Northern Ireland to lose two players of that experience and quality. Well done, Colin Hill. Good ball-winning challenge. This is Dennison to Magilton. Dowie, Dennison. Donachie. Fleming and Dennison. That's a good ball for Magilton. Fleming. Almost putting Rogan through. But now Prosinečki. Binić. Yugoslavia stream up. Northern Ireland, though, on this occasion, back in numbers. And here's Binić trying to take Morrow on with his pace. Morrow does well enough to force a bad cross. Kingsley Black. Donachie. Black. Dowie. And Donachie. Colin Clark. By finding himself in defence. And Dennison and Fleming trying to work something between them on the right-hand side. Fleming. Slightly under pressure there, but brought down, and a free kick to Northern Ireland. Colin Hill, fourth cap, he's winning tonight. Colin Hill looking for the man with 8 goals for his country. Colin Clark, always a substitute tonight for Kevin Wilson. Savićević looking for Prosinečki, good covering by Hill. And Donachie gets it away. And that's Paul Key's ball. Looked dangerous just for a second. Baždarević. For Binić. Baždarević. And a lovely tackle from Steve Morrow. And Baždarević. Yugoslavia 4, Northern Ireland 1. Time perhaps for more goals for this impressive Yugoslavian side. Prosinečki. What a lovely cross! Well, Hill did just enough. Just got a touch on that, I fancy, to put Binić off. Does he come in for his second goal? It's not away yet. It is now, Donachie. Baždarević. Prosinečki. Binić at the far post if he wants him. Jozić. Hadžibegić. Looking for Pančev. Climbs well for a short man. Donachie's experience telling on that occasion. Kingsley Black. Colin Clark back in that left-sided defensive midfield role. Black surely pushed off the goal by Spasić, but play on. Here's Prosinečki. Savićević to his right. Savićević goes on the run. Savićević is onside. Must be 5-1. And it's been stopped. It's still not away. Here's Pančev. Donachie clears. Black Dalton still under pressure. Northern Ireland. Savićević for Jarni. Savićević still. And at last, perhaps a chance for Northern Ireland to clear the ball away. Ball in for Ian Dowie, but he can't keep it in. Baždarević. Pančev this time coming short. And Prosinečki to his right. Steve Morrow has had a pretty good game. Man on loan for Reading from Arsenal. Kingsley Black of Luton Town. That's a bit hopeful. Second time then that Yugoslavia have scored 4 goals in the European Championship qualifying. 4-1 was in fact the score when they beat Austria here. Austria took the lead on that occasion. This is a quality international team. Just over half an hour gone in the second half as Prosinečki pushes forward again. Jozić. Prosinečki. And Rogan beavering well. Hadžibegić. Spasić. Now Binić, Steve Morrow right back. Zildjian can't quite get it away, but Black does, and this is Dowie for Rogan and Colin Clark. Spasić with the challenge. Transferred to Real Madrid, Spasić from Partizan Belgrade. 32.5 minutes gone in the second half. Kingsley Black. Not a bad looking run from Kingsley Black. One man in the penalty area. But it was Robbie Dennison, but it's Ivković. Baždarević. Quick break is always the threat from these Yugoslavs. Prosinečki is in the left wing position now. He's almost omnipresent. Prosinečki. And a substitution being made. Looks like Michael O'Neill is going to come on. To see who's coming off here. There's Jimmy Quinn, in fact, who's coming on. And Robbie Dennison comes off. Up goes Ian Dowie. Northern Ireland actually now have 3 out-and-out strikers in the side, Jimmy Quinn, Ian Dowie and Colin Clark. But again, we must remember Billy Bingham's limited resources on the bench for this game, and indeed throughout the entire squad. Savićević, Spasić, and Yugoslavia just playing content to knock the ball about with 10 minutes to go. And for once, the through ball doesn't work. The line on Jimmy Quinn, he was last in the squad in Malta when Northern Ireland won 2-0. Currently team for quite a while. In fact, he's out of the West Ham team since he and Dowie arrived. Binić. Looking for Darko Pančev. Looks like a spot of holding, but the referee says 6 of 1. And okay is the ball. Spasić, 3 Yugoslavians offside. Ten minutes to go then. Hill takes the free kick. And Baždarević receives the ball. Ian Dowie just couldn't do anything with that ball. Failed to control it. This is Binić. Pančev. For Binić. Nike marking long in the tooth for that. Read it well. Jarni for Savićević. Gary Fleming. Throw in Northern Ireland. Tilton. What a good ball. Now Prosinečki. Jarni. The left back in the left wing position. And no problems this time for the Northern Ireland defence. There is the Yugoslavia manager. You think his side was 4-1 down, not 4-1 up, as he waves his hand and gesticulates in typical Yugoslavian fashion. Not a lot of wiping of brows and waving of hands in this country. Colin Hill. Morrow to his left. Steve Morrow. And the tackle comes in. And I think it's a throw in, it is indeed. Although Vulić was caught by Steve Morrow. The 29-year-old from Real Mallorca, who arrived only this morning for this game after his release from the Spanish club. Here's the tackle again. It actually looked very nasty. And it wasn't an intentionally bad foul by any means, but just the way he was caught, and Vulić is off the pitch for treatment. And play goes on, Yugoslavia down to 10 men. Rogan beaten by Savićević. That's Jarni in acres of space on the right-hand side. Fleming now comes to cover as Prosinečki joins Pančev and Binić up front. Prosinečki just dropping off the front two and getting the ball. Jozić. Ivković couldn't control it, but now it's Baždarević. Baždarević. No bad looking ball, and here's Pančev. Oh. Well, it looked like a defensive pass back in the end from Pančev as he tried to place it, as the crowd held their breath, expecting another goal. Jimmy Quinn. Ian Dowie. Kingsley Black. Almost through. Spasić. And Prosinečki. Plenty of running still. He's also tremendously fit, this man. And that should be Paul Key's ball. I don't think there's any point Vulić taking any further part in this game. The points have been secured with 6 minutes left. Here's Quinn. The applause is for Vulić, who's leaving the field. Yugoslavian substitute is warming up beneath us. Here's Fleming. Kingsley Black. He might try one from there. He's got a good left foot. Hits Spasić. Fleming. Northern Ireland still prepared to attack. minutes gone in the second half. Now Yugoslavia should be able to make a substitution. And on for them comes Ilija Najdoski of Red Star Belgrade. He made his debut in Belfast against Northern Ireland. Prosinečki. 4-1 to Yugoslavia, the score with 5 minutes left. We have approximately 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of our transmission, but the result is in no doubt. Savićević, just one man forward for him now, not the usual running blue-shirted bodies moving in all directions, very difficult to mark. Pančev, a nice little run from him, and he was spotted quite beautifully by Savićević. Pančev going for his 4th goal tonight. Looking for Dawi, and Dawi swings an elbow. Namoğlu. Play goes on. 41 minutes gone in the second half. Northern Ireland 3 goals adrift. This is Binić, one of the goal scorers. Baždarević plays the ball wide for Jarni. Binić, although he's offside at the moment, has now moved forward into an attacking position. Prosinečki. Najdoski. This is Savićević. Spasić has gone right. That's straight through to Paul Key. So Northern Ireland fell behind to a headed first half goal by Binić. 35 minutes gone when that ball went into the back of the net. Northern Ireland equalised through Colin Hill. Nice free kick from Robbie Dennis and forward over. Good header from the Sheffield United central defender. But then in the second half we had 3 goals from Darko Pančev, his second hat-trick in the European Championship, and that has put the seal on it for the Yugoslavs here. 2 points secured, and surely they're on their way to the European Championship finals. 3 minutes to go here at the Red Star Belgrade Stadium in the capital of Yugoslavia, Belgrade, as Yugoslavia move forward inexorably again through Binić. Chance perhaps for number 5 as Northern Ireland get it back on a corner kick, and there you leave us with the score 4-1 to Yugoslavia. Prosinečki with the corner kick. Away by Dawi at the near post. Something Northern Ireland worked on in training. Dawi defending the near post crosses. Just 2 minutes to go. Baždarević to Spasić. Baždarević, Prosinečki, Spasić, and Savićević. Savićević to Baždarević. Spasić goes on the overlap. Baždarević for Prosinečki. Colin Clark clears. Ian Dawi attacks. Anton Rogan goes on a run, but surely he's offside. Yes, indeed. Didn't quite find the run. Baždarević, Pančev, Donaghy's there. Jimmy Quinn gets to Gary Fleming. Savićević, Pančev. Savićević gives it to Prosinečki, but Steve Morrow, who has covered that area with some vigour all evening, gets it away for the corner kick. Prosinečki, Baždarević, Savićević, corner kick. Prosinečki. Baždarević stays onside, but the ball was out for a goal kick. I believe indeed that you're still with us here in Belgrade, despite contrary instructions from Belfast. So with 5 seconds to go of normal time, the score is 4 goals to 1. Spasić lays it back to the goalkeeper Ivković. And there can't be too much injury time here. The only injury I can remember was that to Vulić, fullback. And now I hand you back to the studio. Savićević, you're still with us. To Prosinečki. And luckily for Northern Ireland, Najdoski was there in time.